Joining us right now is Ken Goldin, founder and CEO of Goldin Auctions. Good morning to you, Ken. Congratulations on the new season of the broadcast. Tell us what's happening in the world of cards and collectibles. What's happened to the prices since we last saw you?
Sure. I mean, look, since you last saw me, it's become firmly established that trading cards, sports collectibles, and more broadly collectibles have become an accepted alternative asset. The numbers that people are getting for whether it's a trading card that sells for $12.3 million, whether it's ruby red slippers that sell for $32 million, whether it's a Shohei Ohtani baseball that sells for $4.4 million, just been going up astronomically. And, you know, really there's a lot of, besides old-time collectors, people who've collected their whole lives, there are a lot of, asset managers that are putting some allocations into it. People have been contacting me, hey, we'd like to open up a sports ETF. What do you think? What should we be looking at? And then you've got Pokemon, which is like literally up 3,000% in the past 20 years.
Okay, so but Ken, tell me what you think is happening here, because you've been in this business for a very long time, and the growth, especially in the last, call it 3, 4, 5 years, pandemic and post, has been like a hockey stick. It's just been exponential. What do you ascribe it to?
Well, I mean, what I ascribe it to is that people who, are approaching their 40s and 50s grew up in a generation where maybe they didn't appreciate the more traditional types of collectibles, like maybe they weren't into Monet and Renoir and Warhol and Picasso. They were into, Mickey Mantle. They were into Michael Jordan. They were into Kobe Bryant. And though that is what they worshipped. So collectibles, to me, really captures a moment in time. When you own a rare collectible, you're really owning a piece of history. And, that iconic moment, whether it's a T206 Honus Wagner card or whether it's a game-used jersey, is yours forever. And, the appreciation is out there. And people who have the money want to own the best of the best. And like the difference between now in 2025 as we approach 26 and COVID in 2020 and 2021 is, I think that back then it was indiscriminate buying. Stuff that was not, to me, rare, that should not be very valuable, we're going up 200, 300, 400%, weekly. Now what's happening is there are a lot more people that are seriously involved. There are less people that are looking to get in to make a quick buck. And the best of the best is constantly going up. And the stuff that, is really not that very rare or common is just, slowly, very slowly increasing.
Here's the thing that I've always been curious about, and I think we've talked about it before. I'm a basketball card collector, love basketball. I have a Jordan rookie card, Fleer 86. Yep. And I went back and I was still thinking about the popularity of cards still depends to some degree on a generation of people who loved a player. So, for example, I also have a Topps rookie, the 3-part card, if you remember, with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Dr. J on it.
Yes.
That card, for a period of time, actually had a higher value. It's actually come down in value, I believe. You probably know better than I do. In part because I think there's a generation of the sort of younger generation don't know those players in the same way. And so I do wonder sort of generationally how some of these cards and some of these other collectibles work over time.
Sure. So the Bird Magic rookie card right now in the top grade recently sold for about $800,000. So it peaked, and then it's, for the best of the best, it stayed pretty consistent. But, you go back and you look at players like Mickey Mantle, who in baseball sets a record every time a top card goes up, it sets a record. Babe Ruth card, same thing. The T206 Honus Wagner, for example. If you track every single time one has been sold in history, and I can't find this with any other asset class, if you look at each individual transaction and you find that exact card, it's not hard because there's only about a little bit less than 40 of them authenticated. There has never been a case where the exact same card sold for less than the previous time the exact same card was sold. So I agree with you that players who have been playing in the worldwide expansion in sports, the social media age, starting really with the Kobe Bryant era in basketball and going to the modern players, and best example today is Shohei Ohtani. Those players will get disproportionately more money for all of their collectibles than somebody who was an amazing player but maybe played 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, or even 25 years ago when it was less prevalent worldwide.
Right. Okay, Ken, we got to run. Everyone should watch this series.
I had to ask Ken. I didn't even know what position. I'm embarrassed that I didn't. Was he a good shortstop?
Yeah, Honus Wagner was a Hall of Famer, and
he's a Hall of Famer,
the greatest player in the
1909,
19th century, the turn of the 20th century. And here's the important thing that people will see tomorrow, and I'll do a reveal right now. Hope Netflix doesn't get me in trouble. But this is the first T206 Honus Wagner that was discovered that people did not know about in the past 50 years. The family owned it since 1909 when the great-great-grandfather pulled it out of a pack of cards, pulled it out of a cigarette pack. And let me just show you the back. And that has never happened to me before in filming King of Collectibles, the Goldin Touch, we were lucky enough that I was contacted while I was filming. And my initial thought was, there's no way this thing is real. And I looked at it instantly and I said, oh my God.
And how much is that worth that you're holding in front of me?
This will sell anywhere between $5 and $7 million.
And you're just walking around with that?
I've got a guy with a gun, but yes, otherwise I'm just walking around.
You're in Times Square.
Hey, Ken, I got one more question for you.
Sure.
I got one more question, which is for the kids out there who are thinking of buying new cards.
Yes.
So new cards that are coming out. Are there just too many cards being printed? Is there value, you think, long-term in the new cards that are out there? And I tell you this from personal experience back, I believe, in 1992 or 93. I thought I was so brilliant at trading cards. I bought a case of, it was the first season of the baseball Fleer Ultra. Remember Fleer Ultra? And they overprinted like crazy. My dad has it in his basement. It's worthless. I actually have to pay somebody to take it from us. But they overprinted, and it was such a mistake. And I just wonder what's happening right now.
Well, that was the junk wax era, and the major problem was there was a lot of competition. Everyone was overproducing to meet their minimum guarantees. Now there's really only one exclusive producer for each of the sports. Fanatics, for example, has a 20-year contract with all the leagues, so they're invested in making sure that they grow the market. But in reality, in most sets, the common cards do not retain value. It's the limited print cards, the one that have a piece of a jersey, the one that are signed and numbered, the ones that are autographed that maintain all the value. And those cards literally, can be pulled from a pack today and be sold for $1 million tomorrow.